First tonight, live team coverage from the reading of the writ of election to the next steps toward the general election. We'll tell you what it means now that Parliament is dissolved. Plus, long wait times and mounting frustration. Voters flood registration stations across the capital to beat the closure deadline, setting record-breaking numbers. And then the first woman police commissioner, now serving as the first woman provost marshal. Our Jerome Sawyer explores the significance of the role. And then in our news at 7:30, livery drivers across the capital continue to monitor rising gas prices. As it relates to fares, the union president says for now it's a wait-and-see situation. We've got the details for these stories and more as our news at 7 starts now. Parliament dissolved in a moment that changes everything. Commissioner Shanta Knowles, in her role as Provost Marshal, reading the writ of election on the steps of Parliament today, officially unleashing the race for power. Tonight, full team coverage from the Our News team live in the field. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Tradition coupled with protocol and law marking an historic occasion today as Parliament has been dissolved, paving way for the general election. It comes nearly a week after the House of Assembly was prorogued. And now that this parliamentary chapter has come to a close, all other elements leading up to the big vote are now in full swing. Our Joshua Williams joins us live from in front of the House of Assembly. Josh, what can you tell us about the day?
Good evening, Megan. Certainly, it was so interesting to see, especially as a first-time voter. And as I witnessed everything that occurred here this morning, I could not help but think back. You know, I started this profession shortly after the Davis-led administration came into office around 2022, 2023. My mind just went back to everything that's happened during this parliamentary cycle. We've had cabinet shuffles. We've seen sitting MPs die. We've had by-elections, a number of laws passed. And all of that, Megan, officially coming to a close today.
Exercise of the powers conferred upon the Governor General by Article 66, subsection 2 of the Constitution, and acting in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister, I, Dame Cynthia A. Pratt, Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, do hereby proclaim that Parliament shall be and is hereby dissolved on Wednesday, the 8th day of April, 2026.
Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles, in her role as Provost Marshal, reading a proclamation for the dissolution of Parliament Wednesday morning. Dissolving ends the 5-year parliamentary term ordered by the Governor General on the Prime Minister's advice, which triggers a general election set for May 12. This action vacates all seats in the House of Assembly and Senate, halting pending legislative business and initiating the final voter registration deadline. The reading formally ends one parliamentary chapter and commands the machinery that launches a new election, notifying returning officers and setting the legal clock for nominations and polling.
Now, therefore, I, Dame Cynthia A. Pratt, Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, acting in accordance with the advice of the Prime Minister, do hereby proclaim that the next session of Parliament shall be held in the city of Nassau, in the island of New Providence, on Wednesday, the 20th day of May, 2026, and shall commence at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.
And so, of course, Megan, we expect the writ of election to be published tomorrow. No doubt those lines are probably out of the doors right now at the various voter registration centers across the island. And now the campaign trail is really starting to heat up. Of course, the Progressive Liberal Party will have an event tonight at the University of the Bahamas. You know, the Free National Movement has an event planned in Grand Bahama over the weekend. So while today may just seem just ordinary, something that's trivial, it's very important as we continue to move to the general elections. Megan?
Thanks so much. Our Joshua Williams live for us down there at the House of Assembly. Well, the announcement of the voter registration deadline triggering crowded registration stations and extended hours for staff members of the Parliamentary Registration Department. Our Danielle Miller also joining us live now from the Parliamentary Registration Now. And Danielle, I know you visited the headquarters earlier today. What can you tell us about that?
Hi, Megan. I'm going to step to the side so you can see the cars that are in the parking lot of the Parliamentary Registration Department. And that's how it's been pretty much all day. It's been a rotation of voters coming to register, transfer, as well as get new cards, and the team inside there have done their best to control the crowds, issuing numbers as well as also organizing persons in the services that they came for. Now, I spoke to the Parliamentary Commissioner, Harrison Thompson, who told me that his team's work will continue long after their doors close at 10 p.m. tonight, as this voter register hits an historic milestone. After today, residents will no longer be able to register to vote in the May 12th general election. This indication comes as Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles, acting as Provost Marshal, announced the dissolution of Parliament on the steps of the House of Assembly Wednesday morning. Following the announcement, I went to the Parliamentary Registration Department, where officials reported that as of 11:40 on Wednesday morning, a total of 202,181 voters are now registered, a 3,114 increase from the figures reported 2 weeks ago. Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson telling me that registration stations will be open until 10 p.m. Wednesday night, and his team is prepared to work until dawn. He shared this is a routine that they've now become accustomed to.
This morning, some of my staff members left after 5 o'clock. So it has been, and normally for the last week or two, it's been around 2, 3 o'clock for most staff members.
But why wait until the last minute to register? Angela Stubbs explains that the thought was overshadowed by her work schedule.
Unfortunately, work overwhelms me, and I actually saw a flyer saying that today was the last day to register.
And as for Godfrey Ramming and Trinae Thompson, they are undecided if they will vote.
I was in between a rock and a hard place, but I said I got to do it now.
Still haven't decided if I'm going to vote, but it's a formal document that I can have. So.
While he cannot predict whether all registered voters will actually turn out to the polls, Thompson affirms that voter registration for the upcoming general election has reached record-breaking levels.
This has been the largest registration that we've ever had in the country. The first time we've gone over 200,000 voters. The turnout, we wouldn't know that until election time. But in terms of registration, this has been the largest block that we've ever had.
And just so you have a full breakdown of that number, officials report that Grand Bahama has 30,036 registered voters as of this morning. The Family Islands have 31,702, and New Providence has 141,080. Back to you in studio, Megan.
Thank you so much for that update. Our Danielle Miller live for us down there at the Parliamentary Registration Department. Well, 2021 was a historic year for the opening of Parliament. For the first time in history, the ceremony was held away from the historic downtown Parliament Square. With the opening of Parliament set for May 20th, 2026, could there be a repeat of a grand ceremony at Bahamas Convention Center? Our Jasmin Brown caught up with the House Clerk to talk about that possibility. Here's how he weighs in.
2021, we did something completely different because for the first time, Parliament was open outside of the city of the Nassau and outside of the precincts of the Parliament. So in 2021, we opened the Parliament in Bahama, which was a very unique experience.
That's House Clerk David Forbes describing the 2021 opening of Parliament. Shortly after winning the September 2021 general election, the newly elected Davis administration announced Parliament would be reopened on October 6, 2021 at the Bahamar Convention Center. For decades, the opening of Parliament has happened in Parliament Square. The decision came after the government's steering committee recommended that the reopening should move indoors for several reasons, including inclement weather, the then demolition of the nearby Churchill building, as well as space and seating limitations in the square. And then there was the COVID-19 pandemic.
What made it necessary to do that is because we still had the COVID-19 restrictions in place. So we needed we needed a place where we could have social distancing.
So is there a possibility that the upcoming opening of Parliament could happen outside the city of Nassau again?
Whether the government is going to want to take on the opening of the Parliament in a place like Bahamar, that's something that's too early for us to say. We'll have to wait until the election results are in, and then, of course, I will approach the Prime Minister to find out if you want to have this in the Parliament or in the precincts of the Parliament.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmin Brown.
Thank you so much, Jasmin. Our Jasmin Brown joins us later on in the broadcast. Well, Commissioner Shanta Knowles today performing a duty that marks a decisive moment in Bahamian democracy, publicly reading the dissolution of Parliament in her capacity as Provost Marshal. Jerome Sawyer takes a look at the significance of this moment and the role she played.
As Provost Marshal, Commissioner Shanta Knowles acts as the intersection of law, ceremony, and state security. On Wednesday, she became the first woman to ever dissolve Parliament in her capacity. Her reading formally ends one parliamentary chapter and commands the machinery that launches a new election, notifying returning officers and setting the legal clock for nominations and polling. Beyond the paperwork, the ceremony conveys continuity and impartiality, a visible, apolitical affirmation that the rule of law governs transfers of power. In the Bahamas' ceremonial tradition, these public proclamations are to reassure Bahamians and institutions alike that elections will proceed under lawful authority and that the state's security apparatus will protect the process. For voters, it is the moment democracy moves from calendar to action. Knowles, as the first woman to ever carry out this role in the history of Bahamian elections, has again solidified her place in this sacred democratic process. Commissioner Shanta Knowles was sworn into office on January 3, 2025. She has carried out a ceremonial but constitutionally important duty on the steps of Parliament, acting in her capacity as Provost Marshal, as she read the Governor-General's proclamation carrying out similar duties as she prorogued Parliament on March 27th. Under the Bahamas' Constitution, the Governor-General dissolves Parliament and issues writs for elections on the advice of the Prime Minister. Historically, the Commissioner of Police, an ex officio Provost Marshal, is the officer who publicly reads those proclamations, and when the time comes, the writ of election itself. That reading matters because it is the moment democratic time is set in motion, triggering nomination calendars. It's the close of voter registration and signals the security and administration machinery to protect the vote. For voters and institutions alike, the Provost Marshal's presence is supposed to reassure us that the transfer from Parliament to poll is being carried out under lawful, visible authority. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
Thanks so much, Jerome. Well, a former police corporal has been acquitted of an intentional libel charge tied to a divorce affidavit. 39-year-old Delmar Taylor was accused of making defamatory claims about actuary Derek Osborne in a sworn document filed in July 2025. The affidavit was part of divorce proceedings involving Osborne and his spouse, Darnell Osborne, operators of Dairy Queen Bahamas. In court, Derek Osborne alleged the affidavit described what he called totally false encounters, but he did not provide specific details. The document itself was also never admitted into evidence. Acting Assistant Chief Magistrate Cara Turnquestivo accepted submissions from the defense, agreeing that Taylor had no case to answer. She noted that the affidavit was not before the court and added that even if it had been, its contents would have been protected by privilege. Well, we've still got lots more news to share tonight, but for now, Greg Thompson joins us in the Weather Center with your first look at temperatures. Pretty rainy hump day today, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy hump day, everybody. 72 degrees outside our studios after a very active day around the islands. We have a few clouds. The winds have picked up 18 miles per hour out of the east-northeast, but it feels like temperatures are very comfortable, 71 degrees. Temperatures right now around the Family of Islands, it's a cool 72 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, 73 over in Marsh Harbour, Abaco, 75, Alistown, Bimini, as well as in Great Harbour Key. And you have some thunderstorms nearby in Alistown, Bimini. Nickel, San Andros, that's 77 here. Governor's Harbour, 76, some showers there. 78 in Kemps Bay, and you can tell where most of the clouds are, well back towards the north. 78 in Arthurstown, Gathering. We pick up some 80s, Port Nelson in Rum Key, Deadman's Key, Long Island. And into the southeast Bahamas, warmer still across that area, 79s to 81 across most of the locations. Providenciales, Tricks and Caicos Islands, you are the warm spot at 84. Satellite radar composite, frontal boundary still parked across the northwest Bahamas with a very broad low pressure system. That's keeping things rather unsettled across the area. We're getting some clearing across portions of the northwest Bahamas, but Grand Bahama, Abaco, possibly even the Berry Islands, you will continue to see some showers tonight and likely to continue through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, sustained excellence feels so much better when you're on the other side. Another title for Carifta Swimming.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Experience the games, the track, and the moments that define the region's best young athletes. We are your exclusive carriers of the 2026 Carifta Games, with updates from Carifta Swimming. Catch every stride, every finish, every victory. Airing on Channel 212 and streaming live on our news digital platforms. It's the 2026 Carifta Games, only on RTV.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepard as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Remember way back in 2016, TikTok didn't even exist. Apple removed the headphone jack from the iPhone 7. The world nearly imploded. People chased virtual Pokemon all across the streets. It was also the last time Team Bahamas lost at the Carifta Swimming Championships. A lot has changed since then.
History for the Bahamas as the Carifta Aquatics team secured its 8th consecutive championship at the 39th Carifta Games in Martinique. With 795 points, Team Bahamas beat out Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, who got 754.5 and 747 points respectively. The team's MVP was undoubtedly Kriston Joseph, who collected 10 medals in total. 7 of them being gold.
In track and field, Team Bahamas ended their time in Grenada with the 4x4 relays, and for the under-20 girls, it was a shot at redemption. Samaya Crawley, Kaya Marie Hanna, Sage Demerit, and Alexis Roberts won silver in 3 minutes 37.92 seconds, but the event took on additional meaning after several miscues early in the meet. Crawley, who was on pace for a spot on the medal podium, clipped the final hurdle in the 400-meter hurdles, while Roberts was a member of the mixed 4x4 team that was disqualified after initially winning bronze. While the kids were stacking wins at Carifta, our GOATs were back on the comeback trail. Bahamian Olympic champions Shawnee Miller-Webo and Stephen Gardner were in action in the 200 meters over the weekend at the Pepsi Florida Relays in Gainesville. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the United States, Israel, and Iran agree to a tentative ceasefire, but the attacks continue. Plus, oil tumbles below $100 after Trump announces a 2-week ceasefire. We'll tell you what the numbers are. And then Antigua Prime Minister Gaston Beau calls their general election for April 30th. We have the details when our news continues.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepard as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV. It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Iran's parliament speaker said Wednesday that a ceasefire and negotiations with the U.S. on ending the war is unreasonable, as he accused the U.S. violating 3 of Tehran's 10 conditions to end the fighting. It comes as the not yet day-old ceasefire appears at risk of fraying over significant disagreements between the parties. United States, Iran, and Israel agreed to a 2-week ceasefire to halt more than a month of war, even as more drones and missiles hit the Islamic Republic and Gulf Arab states. Israel has pushed forward its war against the Hezbollah militant group in Lebanon, killing at least 112 people and wounding hundreds of others. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the ceasefire deal doesn't cover fighting against Hezbollah, contradicting what Pakistan had said. Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz in response to Israeli attacks on Lebanon, and the U.S. demanded that Iran immediately reopen it.
I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this.
Oil tumbled below $100 a barrel on Wednesday after U.S. President Donald Trump said he had agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran, subject to an immediate and safe reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude futures were down 16.72% at $91 a barrel. WTI futures slid by 18.13% to $92.47. Benchmark European diesel prices also fell, shedding 20.34% to $1,217 a metric ton. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Jasmin Brown announcing their general election is set for April 30th, with nomination day on April 13th. Brown made the announcement during a political rally for his Barbuda Labour Party. He also told supporters that a public holiday would be observed following what he predicted would be a victory for his party. The main opposition in their election is the United Progressive Party, and the Democratic National Alliance announced that they will not field candidates in this election. Haitian human rights organizations are demanding justice and reparations after the United Nations confirmed 4 cases of sexual exploitation and abuse involving members of the Kenya-led multinational security support mission in 2025. Advocates say the confirmed cases in Haiti reflect a broader, long-standing pattern of abuse tied to foreign interventions in the country and warn that once again victims risk being left without justice. The allegations come as the multinational mission begins withdrawing personnel from Haiti. More than 500 Kenyan police officers, along with Bahamian contingents, have returned home between December 25 and March 2026. On the other side of this break, holiday Easter travel translating into record-breaking numbers. Airport officials reporting tens of thousands of tourists traveling through LPIA. And then in our news at 7:30, live coverage continues of today's dissolution of Parliament. We'll tell you what you need to know on the road to the polls. Coming up when our news returns.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started.
The Easter holiday weekend saw record-breaking travel numbers as predicted by the NASA Airport Development Company. NAD projected that up to 85,000 passengers would travel through the Lynden Pinley International Airport. And according to officials, those numbers were met. Holiday turnout comes as LPIA continues to surpass post-pandemic performance. In 2024, the airport recorded a milestone 4.6 million passengers, exceeding the pandemic high of 3.8 million. That upward trend is continuing, with this year's Easter traffic surpassing last year's figure of just over 79,000 passengers. NAD's Chief Executive Officer, Bernice Walkie, says as the airport prepares to return, the focus remains on improving efficiency and maintaining a high level of guest satisfaction. Well, of course, to watch any of today's top stories, be sure to head on over to our news. And joining us now is our Talia Hall-Thomas with the latest headlines. Talia.
Happy Wednesday, Megan. Happy Wednesday. Well, coming up, long lines, last-minute Bahamians seeking to get on the voters' registration list frustrated with the process. We check in at voter registration stations in the second city. Here are your latest. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, the race is officially on. Political parties hit the ground running, expressing confidence ahead of the general election, plus breaking down the process. Our Jasmin Brown explains how dissolving parliament differs from prorogation and what it means for the country. And over in Grand Bahama, long lines, voters turning out in droves before the registration deadline officially ends. And later, the Bahamas Constitution Party calls for an investigation into alleged fraudulent documents ahead of the election. The story when our news live at 7:30 returns.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.
John, I just found out that KFC has an irresistible promo.
Crunch into the juicy flavor of the new KFC Wrap Star. A classic made modern that's crunchy, melty, and grilled to perfection for all the journeys of your day. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This is the ride on the weekend with my grandma to this place, Burger King Nassau, where grandma enjoyed her favorite flame grilled Whopper with fresh veggies, flame grilled beef just the way she was.
With a single solemn proclamation, Commissioner Shanton Knowles has set the nation on an electoral course. The dissolution of Parliament today, setting election clocks running as the country now braces for a fierce campaign. In this half hour, we have full coverage with the team you already trust. Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Talia Hall-Thomas. First tonight, with the dissolution of Parliament signaling the official start of the campaign season, political parties are wasting no time making their position clear. Our Delvardo Emmanuel spoke with each one expressing confidence as the country heads toward a general election. He's standing by live tonight with the latest. Delvardo, what can you tell us?
Yes, Natalia, the proverbial bell has rung. The campaign and the countdown to the general election is on. But what does that mean for political parties here in the country? Well, today I chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, chairman of the Free National Movement, and chairman of the Coalition of Independents. They tell me their plans for the upcoming weeks.
Absolutely the most important thing, the parliamentary process.
That's how parliamentary clerk David Forbes describes the...
My hope and expectation is that we'll return to government.
Bring it on. Let's do it. You know, we are ready.
The power was placed back in the hands of the people. This means that the people now have the opportunity to decide where this election goes.
Party chairmen from across the political divide reacting to this morning dissolution of Parliament. The moment unfolding on the steps of the House of Assembly as the proclamation was read, officially paving the way for a general election. From the governing Progressive Liberal Party, Chairman Fred Mitchell projects continuity.
Progress, stability, peacefulness, kindness, love, all of those things. That's the PLP, and we hope that the country supports that going forward.
Meanwhile, the opposition Free National Movement is positioning itself to challenge for power. Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands criticizing the government's performance while promising greater accountability under a Michael Pintard-led administration.
We have talked about restoring confidence in healthcare. healthcare under this administration has been an absolute disaster. We ain't know what happened to all the money. You earn $17 billion in revenue and have nothing to show for it. Immigration has pissed people off.
As for the Coalition of Independents, their chairman, Charlotte Grains, says this moment represents an opportunity for voters to reset the country's direction.
To empower them, to give them access to what was stolen from them and opportunities. This country belongs to all and not a few.
Now, Talia, with the countdown to May 12 officially begun, we are going to see a lot of political events like the one I'm to now. I'm currently here at the University of the Bahamas for the PLP's Blueprint for Progress outlet. Now, the Davis administration, they were going to outline a number of their plans for the next 5 years should they return as the governing party. Reporting for our news, sending back to you at the desk, Natalia.
All right, thanks so much, Delvardo. That's our Delvardo Emmanuel reporting live from the University of the Bahamas tonight. Well, this morning's dissolution of Parliament comes nearly a week after the House of Assembly was prorogued. And while the two actions have many similarities, they have starkly different results. Today's dissolution puts the country on a straight path to a general election. So what's next? Well, our Jasmin Brown joins us live from Parliament Square to tell us more. Jasmin, I understand you had the chance to sit down with the House Clerk moments after this morning's dissolution.
That's right, Italia. I did get to speak to David Forbes this morning, and he spoke to me about what's happened right here behind me outside on the steps of Parliament over the past week, from the prorogation to the dissolution. One thing's clear, that democracy happens right here outside Parliament.
Absolutely the most important thing, the parliamentary process.
That's how parliamentary clerk David Forbes describes the vital role Parliament plays in the democratic process, from proclamations that prorogue or dissolve Parliament to the writ of election. They all play a vital role. Forbes says the dissolution of Parliament has a specific role in the process.
But a dissolution demands an election. So what you had today was a dissolution of the Parliament, which means that all parliamentarians lose their seat in the House of Assembly and the Senate. All the seats are vacant now.
Prorogation signals the end of a parliamentary session. It brings nearly all parliamentary business, including most bills and all motions and parliamentary questions, to a close. The primary difference between dissolution and prorogation is that after prorogation, the same Parliament reconvenes with the same sitting MPs, while after dissolution, an election takes place and a new Parliament is formed. And that election is slated for May 12th.
Tomorrow, we are expecting to have the writ of election, which will then now be another proclamation that sets the date and the time of the elections. And that will wind up the whole procedure to start to allow you to have an election and to provide for the next new parliament.
Now, we're all aware that election is happening in just about a month on May 12th. And as that happens, everything is about to ramp up. There will be rallies, there will be political events. It's about to get very busy in the news cycle. Back to you, Italia.
All right, that's for sure. Thanks so much, Jasmin. That's our Jasmin Brown reporting live from Parliament Square tonight. Well, with Parliament now dissolved, the clock has officially run out for voter registration. And in Grand Bahama, a number of people turned out at the very last minute. Well, our news team was there as long lines wrapped around the Parliamentary Registration Department in Freeport.
We might wait for the 11th hour, but we will show.
That sentiment echoed loudly across Grand Bahama today as residents lined up outside the Parliamentary Registration Department downtown Freeport, all determined to secure their right to vote before the deadline. The line stretched around the building, a clear sign of a last-minute rush, as today marked the final opportunity for registration following the dissolution of Parliament. We spoke with several residents waiting patiently, including Jessica Wallace-Whitfield, who shares why she waited until the final hours.
It was unfortunately only yesterday that I realized today was the last day, so that's why I came in today.
However, not everyone walked away satisfied. Jerry Lightbourne expressing frustration after being asked to provide a passport, saying the experience discouraged him from continuing the process.
If I show you my NIV card, why I need to bring passport? I'm a Bahamian. Come on. And I registered and vote when Penland was in power. That's my brother.
Meanwhile, others like resident Anthony Green saw today as their only window of opportunity.
I just get my passport. I just pick it up just now and I just come to work. I'm off the day. So I'm not worrying about the line right now. I just want to get it done.
And while many were focused on registering, some other residents like Patricia Bullard and Adrian Gilbert already had their voting decisions in mind.
I would like to encourage everybody today to come out and vote. Cast your vote. If you don't vote, you don't have any say. Come out and support the PLP all the way.
Yes, there are things that we are still waiting for here on Grand Bahama, but there are things also in the pipeline here for Grand Bahama. And so therefore, I do strongly believe that we need to keep the party that's in, so those things in the pipeline can continuously move forward.
Now, several satellite registration stations were set up across the island. Dr. Cecil Thompson, a consultant with the Parliamentary Registration Department, says the increase in numbers has been significant. He explains staff worked until 3 this morning to keep up with the non-stop flow of residents.
Obviously, they have to wait because the room has a limited capacity, and so you have to wait. We try our endeavor to provide them with chairs and whatever they may need. When it comes towards the evening hours, we will make sure issue numbers to those persons who are in line to make sure at the end of the day we want to accommodate as many Bahamians as possible.
Earlier this week, leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, Ali McIntosh, called for the May 12 general election to be rescinded. Her call comes as she continues to raise concerns about alleged fraudulent passports, claiming foreigners may be in possession of Bahamian documents, including passports and voter cards. McIntosh says her party is pushing for a full investigation, including seeking an injunction through the Supreme Court, but she admits those efforts have been so far unsuccessful with no acknowledgement from the courts.
The sovereignty of the state is in peril regarding this matter, regarding the reputation of documents in the country. And so it is important that this government, well, now that the House has been dissolved, we are all at the feet of the cross regarding being elected. However, the Bahamas Constitution Party on the 27th of March filed a request for an injunction. The Supreme Court has not responded, despite the many, not only the calls, but the letter to the Chief Justice and the registrar regarding moving this matter forward. They have refused to. In fact, they have played games in this regard. But we want a court order investigation.
And despite Parliament being dissolved today, she says the fight is far from over. McIntosh says she will continue to pursue the matter, even if it means taking it to the Privy Council, as she pushes for a commission of inquiry into those allegations.
In fact, our request for injunction actually called for a commission of inquiry. And in this regard, now that the government has dissolved this House and is expected to go to election, when this matter is over, we will require and we will call for whatever it is, even if it means go to the Privy Council, to request that there is a commission of inquiry. Because if this Davis administration is elected or re-elected, there is going to be accounting in this regard.
With the election season now underway, Southern Shore's Member of Parliament Leroy Major says he's ready to defend his seat. The first time MP won under the PLP in 2021, but he won't be representing the party this time around. The party selected Obi Roberts as its candidate for the 2026 election. Major says he's grateful for the opportunity the PLP gave him nearly 5 years ago, but admits he wanted to see more done during his term. Still, the now independent candidate says his commitment to his constituents has never changed.
I want to thank the people of Southern Shores for trusting me, for giving me an opportunity to serve them and to be their voice. Unfortunately, things had a turn with the party, and I appreciate my PLP party. But this time around, I want to continue to serve my people, and I will be running as an independent in the next election on May 12th.
The Southern Shores MP made headlines back in June after publicly criticizing his party for sidelining backbenchers and concentrating on resources in the hands of cabinet ministers and warning of growing frustration within the PLP's parliamentary ranks. Major says he's been consistent on the ground and believes voters will back him again.
I could say it's bittersweet. I wish that we could do more for our people in a tangible way. But I think the next time around, whoever becomes the government and me being in Parliament, I will be more the people's voice rather than the party's voice. I want to fight for the people. I want to stand for the people. I want to speak for the people. And I made up my mind, along with the people in Southern Shores, that's what we want. And I'm going to go with that.
All right, now turning to weather. Heavy showers on this Wednesday in the capital. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Italian. A happy Hump Day Wednesday, everybody. 72 degrees outside our studios after a lot of showers and thunderstorms, so very cool temperatures. Few clouds right now as things have quieted down. The winds have picked up. Breezy east-northeast winds at 18 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is a comfortable 71. Satellite radar composite, frontal boundary and a broad low-pressure system still parked across the northwest Bahamas gave us quite a bit of showers and thunderstorms, even some severe thunderstorm warnings earlier today. Most of the activity, though, remaining across Grand Bahama as well as the Abacos and possibly the Berry Islands. You're likely to see that tonight through tomorrow. The winds have picked up, so we have a near gale to gale warning in effect for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast. Still to come.
Still to come in our news, rising fuel costs hit home as global conflict drives prices past $6 a gallon, with drivers bracing for more increases. The story when our news continues. Stay with us.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Experience the games, the track, and the moments that define the region's best young athletes. We are your exclusive carriers of the 2026 Carifta Games, with updates from Carifta Swimming. Catch every stride, every finish, every victory. Airing on Channel 212 and streaming live on our news digital platforms. It's the 2026 Carifta Games, only on RTV.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepard as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV.
While we're in the excitement of election season, we're still keeping a close eye on skyrocketing gas prices, the fallout of the U.S.-Iran conflict that has sent the cost of oil per barrel well over $100, according to the Tribune gas tracker. Rubis now stands at $6.64 per gallon, Esso at $6.58 per gallon, and Shell at $5.77 per gallon. Livery drivers across the capital say they are monitoring the situation. Here's President Tory Austin.
I've not made any major adjustment to our pricing yet. This is kind of a wait-and-see game and see how long this situation will last. And so for right now, we're going to stand still. The thing about delivery services is that we are not regulated with pricing. We have the ability to adjust our pricing and negotiate directly with the customer our pricing. So if this trend continues, then there might be a slight increase in what we call our regular rates to our clients.
But it's not only livery drivers that are keeping a close eye. Bus drivers say they'll have to up their fares, while taxi drivers say it's not unreasonable for them to do the same given the circumstances. Austin says he hopes their output versus their input balances out.
A standard SUV is probably about $120 normally to fill up from an empty tank to fill. And that can last you for about 3 days. Depending again on your movements. If you are a busy individual and you're moving, again, that means you're getting business. And so like you're asking, last you 3 days. If you're not moving as much, then it might last you 4 days. But again, movement is good. If you're burning the gas, it must mean you're moving a lot.
Sure, you expected them to win, but it still felt different when that number 8 hit for Carifta Swimming. Then we tell you about a couple redemption runs at Carifta Track and on the pro circuit.
Bing bang.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest-running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
Too many suffer in silence, but silence only protects the abuser. Your feelings are real. Your safety matters. It's time to break the silence. If someone is hurting you, speak up. We will listen. We will help. I am Police Constable 4286 Janae Douglas of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Let us build safer communities together.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Remember way back in 2016, TikTok didn't even exist. Apple removed the headphone jack from the iPhone 7. The world nearly imploded. People chased virtual Pokemon all across the streets. It was also the last time Team Bahamas lost at the Carifta Swimming Championships. A lot has changed since then.
A gold rush. That's what happened in Martinique on the final night of the Carifta Games at the Pierre Samo Community Aquatic Center in Martinique, helping Team Bahamas secure its 8th consecutive swimming title in the region. Head coach Trevano McPhee.
We didn't listen to the noise in the market. But those who are making the noise in the market, they say beat it for you all, right? So we just want to say, we small country of 400,000 going against countries with millions, right? Really showed how resilient the Bahamian people are, right?
Undoubtedly, the team's MVP was Kriston Joseph. He had a total of 10 medals, 7 of which were gold.
I am pleased with the team's performance, as in the first couple of days it was very close, but now we extending and we killing them.
And 3 of the captains we spoke to couldn't be happier about the AP.
It feels exciting knowing that all our hard work is going to be paid off to win.
Being Bahamians and representing our country is a real honor to us, and we take this very seriously. So we want to do this for our country and those that support us back home.
This is the hardest day, but we really want to secure this 8th because it's always an honor to represent our country, and we really want to make sure we bring it home. And I'm really confident that we got this 8th.
Overall, the Bahamas finished with 795 points and 55 medals. Reporting for Our Sports from Martinique, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
In track and field, Team Bahamas ended their time in Grenada with the 4x4 relays, and for the under-20 girls, it was a shot at redemption. Samaya Crawley, Kaya Marie Hanna, Sage Demerit, and Alexis Roberts won silver in 3 minutes 37.92 seconds, but the event took on additional meaning after several miscues early in the meet. Crawley, who was on pace for a spot on the medal podium, clipped the final hurdle in the 400-meter hurdles, while Roberts was a member of the mixed 4x4 team that was disqualified after initially winning bronze.
Yesterday, I was even for gold, it was in the front, and I fell. So that brings something up in me, and I know I was running 4x4. So my mom was to say, go, just go, beat everybody. I don't care who on the side of me, I don't care who faster than who. The goal was just to go there and win.
We had a solid team, so I did this not only for myself, I did this for them, everybody. All of us had disappointments in this meet, so I just have to keep it strong for my teammates.
While the kids were stacking wins at Carifta, our GOATs were back on the comeback trail. Bahamian Olympic champions Shawnee Miller-Weibo and Stephen Gardner were in action in the 200 meters over the weekend at the Pepsi Florida Relays in Gainesville. Miller-Weibo headlined the performances, winning the women's Olympic development race in 22.44 seconds, her fastest time since 2022. Meanwhile, Gardner finished third in the men's event in 20.46 seconds. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS, and I know today is a tough day for you to focus on sports. Not only is it a huge news day, but we are in for a huge news month of NBA playoffs. Y'all be safe though.
Still ahead on our news tonight, heavy rain showers in the capital on this Hump Day Wednesday. Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
My name is Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
The dangers are escalating. Vaping liquid marijuana is on the rise, damaging lungs and increasing stroke risk. And a deadly new trend, lean, cough syrup, soda, and candy, a lethal combination that can cause seizures and even death. Possession means arrest and prosecution. I am Corporal 2641 Rory Fox of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Protect your loved ones. Learn more by visiting our website.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
This is our news. Welcome back. Broad low pressure system as well as the front across the northwest Bahamas remains parked across that area. Kept us with quite a bit of activity. Some strong thunderstorms prompting severe thunderstorms warning earlier today by the Department of Meteorology. We will continue this trend through tonight and into tomorrow. Most of the activity remaining across Grand Bahama and the Upper Coast. We could see a possible isolated thunderstorm down here. In the meantime, high pressure across the southeast Bahamas will continue to keep that quiet down there. But the front is expected to push into the southeast Bahamas by Friday. Broad high pressure will be building across areas, so some very strong winds expected for the remainder of the week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with the boundary across the northwest Bahamas really staying up there mostly, getting into the portions of the central Bahamas by Thursday, but most of the activity will be waning and pulling to the southeast by Friday. Boating forecast, keeping the northern Bahamas separate from everybody. Small craft advisory. We're asking you boaters and you beachgoers to remain out of the waters. Northeast to east winds, 15 to 25 knots, and those winds will gust occasionally to near gale. 5 to 8 foot seas building up to 12 feet in Atlantic waters. Central and southeast Bahamas, southeast to south, 10 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, but building up to 6 feet in Atlantic waters in some swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep 1 or 2 days more of showers and thunderstorms. Thursday seems to be very busy. Clearing up on Saturday, temperatures will be back into the 80s, and we're looking for some warmer temperatures for next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg. And thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall-Thomas. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.